Hello everyone, welcome to another episode from yours truly, Bottom Nerd, and today we're going to talk about pretty god-awful television coming straight from good old Disney Plus, and unfortunately it also is coming from Star Wars. Ever since the acquisition, I guess if you want to call it, of Disney taking Star Wars from George Lucas, it's pretty safe to say that Disney has turned Star Wars into an absolute toilet. Now, obviously, to many, this is just bickering, this is moaning, blah, 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 blah. Let's be realistic. I'm going to try to keep it sweet and short just to get my point across. Maybe you might agree, maybe you might disagree. Throw those comments down so I can have a chat. This is all fiction. This is nothing to get hate over. It's just simply opinion based off of fictional series and characters. We are coming to nearly 100 episodes here with Spot of Nerds. So before I get into the meat of what I want to talk about in terms of Kenobi and Andor, we're going to do some changes. And we're going to do some pretty big changes. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be a little bit more on the realistic side, including the politics, the society that is today, everything in between, that quite frankly is destroying a lot of what we're being shown. Whether it's movies, whether it's being television, a lot of what is being shown is being ruined because of politics. You might not agree. In fact, I know the majority don't agree. The saddest truth of it all, and I will go into this way more into the future. Some of us who suffer greatly, myself included, from depression, from health issues, a lot of our escape from the torment of day-to-day life is programming, which is kind of ironic if you think about it. But it's an escape for us. We turn to the movies and we turn to these TV shows to find a little bit of joy and happiness that we don't get in our day-to-day life. And there's so much we can unpack with that. The mental piece really is a case of, I just want to sit down and I want to watch Star Wars. I want to watch the next series that's come out, and I don't want what I see in the real world shoved down my throat through my fictional series or movie. That's to come. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be awesome. So anyway, coming back round to Kenobi. Dear God, it was the definition of a bait and switch. When it was first announced we were gonna get a Kenobi show through Disney Plus, everybody was ecstatic. Everybody was pumped because Ewan McGregor is going to be back and filling the role of none other than Obi-Wan Kenobi. So how could you go wrong? We're going to get to see him maybe secretly watching out after Luke and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Society now has decided to take a role. You would think the Kenobi series would be based off of Kenobi basically having one job and one job only, and that is to take care of Luke. And what do you know? The old bait and switch. It has absolutely nothing to do, not only with Kenobi, nothing to do with Luke. The show is all about Princess Leia and this other evil Sith Inquisitor gal. It's sometimes you don't even know what words to put towards how you're feeling or what your opinion is, but I think you can get where I'm going, because a lot of us, just because we don't like it, we are now marked as bigots, racists, sexists, you name it. And it could not be further from the truth. We don't give two shits that you had Leia in this series, or that you had this Inquisitor gal and everything involved in that. You can go do your research on that case. What it comes down to is that you have this character Kenobi that was an inspiration, that is legendary from the original Alec Guinness days back in the 1970s. You really expect awesome. you can only 20 years later think this is going to be even better. And you're even bringing back Hayden Christensen. So where could you go wrong? Everything was wrong. The way they filmed this show, the way the story was written, it was atrocious. It was, if anything, it was as if they were spitting all over the character. In my eyes, Kenobi was that last piece of Star Wars that you had that you could have changed things for the better. All the backlash from The Last Jedi, the backlash from everything else that's been going on in the Star Wars universe, Kenobi was Disney's chance to really knock it out of the park. And I swear, and this is just my opinion, I swear they did it on purpose. The bait and switch where let's focus the story on Leia, let's focus the story on these other characters, and it has nothing to do with Kenobi at all. And it's really sad because you could have taken this story in so many amazing directions. How he learned to talk with Qui-Gon, how he learned to keep secret, while the Empire is building, how he learned to maybe even save fellow Jedi that are still roaming the galaxy because they are being hunted by none other than Darth Vader. So many ways you could have taken this story, and you took it in a way that is, I don't even know if you could make it worse. So, if you haven't seen Kenobi already, don't waste your time. I sincerely mean that. Do not waste your time watching Kenobi, because I can tell you, spoiler, number 1 has nothing to do with Kenobi at all. Number 2, Kenobi is in fact now turned into Luke from The Last Jedi. Instead of being this passionate, heroic Jedi, he is now a grumpy old man who doesn't even know how to use his powers anymore. Number 3, it's the bait and switch. It has nothing to do with Kenobi, it has everything to do with Leia. The CGI, the cinematography, is something that you would have seen from the 1990s. Again, I've used this reference before, but it's like watching Charmed or watching some of the old school movies, like if you remember Armageddon and you remember The Core, where they take a spaceship into the core of the earth. You're bringing back Darth Vader, you're bringing back Hayden. There was such a chemistry between the two back in the prequels, but it's not there anymore. The brotherliness, the kosherness, I guess, I don't know what the right word to use is. The bottom line is, when you have Ewan and you have Hayden together, it just feels cringeworthy. It's kind of awkward. So what I'm getting at there is, it's just weird to watch and it's kind of uncomfortable. That would be kind of my final take of, there's really so many reasons not to watch Kenobi. The latest Star Wars addition to the universe is Andor. Sweet mother of God. Yes, I know I'm a broken record every time I say that. 3 episodes have premiered just this last week. Star Wars is officially bleeding out. Kenobi was the gunshot wound. Andor will officially be the bleeding out of this franchise. You have 3 episodes. Let's ballpark 35-40 minute episodes. I have never been so bored in my entire life. I can summarize these 3 episodes in about 2 minutes. You have Andor, you have the Rebels, you have the Galactic Empire. These Rebels find this kid on a planet who turns out to be Andor, who turns out to be really good at stealing shit. They save him, he grows up, Andor gets something really cool, fancy smancy that the Rebels want. They want to know how he gets it. He's really good at stealing shit. Want to join the rebellion? Great. 3 episodes. Dear God, how do you make something this boring? It is more exciting watching paint dry. Watching a game of American baseball. Yep, sport haters, go ahead, attack me all you want. It is the most mind-numbingly boring shit I have ever seen in my entire life. Will I continue to watch the series? Obviously. I mean, again, it's what you gotta do. But I can promise you, it's just fucking terrible. So if you're gonna think about watching Andor, save your time. There are so many more shows and movies out there in the world to watch. You will be much happier and more enticed to watch. So go do those other things and not watch Andor. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching this latest episode. If you would be ever so kind, go ahead, throw me a subscribe right down below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the content you're seeing. If you didn't like it, that's okay. It's just talk, it's opinion, it's fiction. And we will continue. The next couple episodes are going to be a little interesting. You'll find out. Stay tuned, and we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all. So So the end credit spiel, you gotta have the end credit spiel with Spot of Nerd. The biggest disappointment came from Kenobi. In the kind of the final episode, I believe, is when you do get the final showdown. Obi-Wan, Vader. And you would think if you go back to the original prequel, Revenge of the Sith, I truly believe one of the greatest, if not the greatest, lightsaber fight between two Jedi is between Obi-Wan and Anakin in the final scene of that film. So when you get the ultimate rematch, you think, okay, let's do this. This is going to be badass. It is atrocious. And what I mean by that, spoiler, Kenobi gets buried by a bunch of rocks thrown by Vader. And wouldn't you know, guess what his inspiration is to get out of those rocks? You might think it would be Luke, the Jedi, the love he has for the Jedi way and the Republic and the old blah 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 blah. Nope, it's Leia. Leia is the inspiration to get out of this hole. A small little girl, little child, is the inspiration for Obi-Wan Kenobi to dig himself out of a hole. That is how they wrote the majority of this show. And that is why I will always say Kenobi was a pile of ass.